Well, now we're off to my local scrapyard. Really nice people. Lived in town all their life, and it's a great, we trade off pizza for parts. So I've got my alternator from the tractor off, and I'm gonna take it and see if they can help me out. It looks like an older GM model. Oh yeah, Sanford and Son Auto Parts. Doesn't get any better than this. All right. I put the alternator on and try to give you a basic idea. Basically, the alternator goes on like this. Wires come out the side. On this other alternator, see if we can do this, you can see the wires come out the top in line with that top bolt there, which means they hit the manifold. So you can spin these, but just don't take it all the way off, or the brushes fall in. Found that out on the old one, because always when I try to do something, I take the old one apart before I take the new used one apart. So anyways, that's what I'm going to try to do now, is spin this a quarter turn, and then that. Alright, we've run into our first little problem here. As this starts to come around, this here is going to hit that right there as it comes around. Boop. So I have determined that this little lip is really unnecessary in my application. Now we'll tap that over and put the screws back in, and away we go. Now we have accomplished that, so we're going to flip it over and put the fan back on and the old pulley. Alright, we are 3, 4, 5 hours into this alternator project. I have spun the alternator, so the wires coming out here, that's all good. But for some reason, the bracket that was here, I put it all the way out, and the alternator, the belt, changed the pulley so the belt would be tighter, and it's still all the way out and not tightening up. We look to make sure she's still on the bottom pulley, and it is. It just needs a little bit more. So I found this out of my scrap pile. This antler, as some people call them. And you see what I'm getting at here? Alright. I am one of the last people you want to see teaching you how to weld. Everything I know about welding, I learned on YouTube. And like I said before, a lot of these guys have a lot of great skills. I do not. But we will give it a shot. And what we did is we got a little extension. We've figured out the angle. Well, a lot of weld and a little grinding, and that thing might just hold. I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. I know I got a big spot right here. Yeah. But every time I try to keep putting some weld in there, it keeps inching it up, so I'll try it when I flip it over, because I did better on the top side. Alright, alternator's back in with the funky new bracket I made. Looking pretty good. Belt's nice and tight. But we have a new problem. Now that we moved the alternator over a little bit, not only are we touching here, which is not too bad of a deal, but now I cannot get the intake hose to line up with the carburetor. Oh man. Alright, well, after 4 hours, we pulled the front end off. Made it a lot easier. It took me less time to pull the front end off than all that hacking around. That's what I should have done in the first place. I rerouted, cut this shroud, rerouted the pipe, plugged up some holes where it had worn through. I would have welded them, but again, you saw my welding skills, and I don't have any like thin metal to kind of put on there, and so I figured instead of making more holes, we would make less with tape. It'll hold. It'll be fine. It's just sucking air. Alright, we're back inside the garage again. So after all day working on the alternator, got out to the backyard and I heard something rubbing. It went away. I'm like, it's fine. Using the tractor, and I shut it off. You didn't get to see it overheat. But anyways, we got it back in here and pulled the hood and cover off again. It's actually getting easier and easier. So that way, there we look. There we go. That's it better. If the pulley moves, there it goes. That bolt is hitting the fan. Hopefully this is taping it. Yeah, when the pulley doesn't move, the belt breaks. All right. Well, here's the problem. Now that we've got the alternator out of the way, this hole, she do big. All right. We pulled off that bracket. Pulled this bracket off of here. We got it out, and when we got it out, I noticed. Let's put this up against something. See the modification done here? I guess for the alternator before, but now, just in case you didn't, understand what I'm talking about, you see how big the hole is, and so it was riding up here. And there's not enough meat here to grind that down anymore, because look at that, it'll go right into it. So rather than loosen, this is pretty thin metal as it is, rather than weaken this anymore, I'm going to weld a washer around here, and that'll not only stiffen this up, but it'll keep this from riding up here. It'll be down here, and that'll make it nice round. Okay, a little safety tip. I'm going to put in this video is when it comes to, if you're going to weld a washer and you go up here to get your washer out and you have your grinder below it, the wheel running, and when I was there I leaned and my sweatshirt got all tore up and fuzzed up. So then I came over here, started welding, and kind of what happens after that. Well, this is what happened to me. We got a little bit of a burn here. I hope you can see that. Because I felt it getting kind of warm. I was like, what the heck is that? Well, sparks do catch fuzzy clothing on fire, and you ought to be careful. All right, so do this pretty well. Whoop, hot. Oh. All right, try not to drop your $10 grinder on the ground. It actually. All right, another modification. Actually, more like this, and you see that little cutout in it is so the alternator can fit down in there right. Hopefully, this will be enough. It's also getting very late. It's 10 p.m. Started this project at 10 a.m. Just a simple alternator change. All right, let me put this in. All right, modifications are done. Not hitting there. The wires are back on. The belt is lined up. Looking good. Just tight. So, put the battery cable back on. Make sure it's in neutral. Yeah. Good ride. tractor. Anyways, let's check the voltage.